In this video, we are going to learn how you can create a website using Webflow. So let's get started. So first of all, in order to get started, you need to create a free Webflow account. If you don't have a Webflow account, visit the link in the video description to create an account and log into your Webflow dashboard. We are going to log into our account. We have logged into our Webflow account. And you can see we already have a website over here. So this is your Webflow dashboard, and it's actually called a workspace. From here, you can manage all your websites, look at the general themes, plans, billing, and also you can view tutorials from here. So to add a new site, we can simply click on this new site button, and it's going to give us three options: the AI site builder, template, and blank site. If you want to use the AI site builder, you can choose this one. If you want to choose from one of their templates, or if you want to start from scratch, you can choose this. So let's choose the blank site. And here we can name our site. So let's go ahead and add a name. We're going to call this site Digital Forest. So we want to simply create a website for a digital marketing agency. So we're going to click on Create Site. And it's going to set up our website. All right, so this is a blank site, and here is where you can create your website. On the left-hand side, you can see there are some tools over here, such as add elements, pages, navigator, components, variables, style selectors, assets, and apps. On the bottom, we can see there's the settings. We have the learning assistant. We have audits. And if we cannot find anything, we can use this one. And we can also take a look at the video tutorials from here. On the right-hand side, we cannot see much over here, but when we add elements and select those elements, we will be able to customize or edit those elements from here. On the top, you can see there's the home page. So this is the name of our page. We can see there's a settings over here. If we click over here, it's going to open up the page settings. So we will take a look at this page settings later on. Here we can choose different display options such as tablet, mobile, so we can make our website responsive. Now, with that being said, let's actually start building our site. Now, to start adding elements, what we can do is start with the navigation menu. What we can do is click on this plus icon, and it's going to give us a lot of elements. We can choose between elements or layouts. And in the starter library, we got a few of these layouts, but we're going to start with the navigation menu. What we're going to do is first take a section. And here we have taken a section. You can see there are various ways to customize this section. We can customize the layout. We can turn it into a block, flex, grid, or we can choose none. All right. We can also adjust the spacing. We can adjust margin, padding from all sides. We can change in the size, position, typography, backgrounds, etc. Now, in this section, what we're going to do is add a container. Now, there are many ways, as I've said earlier, that you can use to design your navigation menu. You can add a container, or you can add grid or column, and then you can add in elements within that. But we're going to simply take a container like so. And now we have a container over here. And then we're going to add in the flex box, and we are going to choose the space between. And for the y-axis, we want to set it to center. All right. Now, let's add in some elements. First, what we are going to do is add a link block. So this is over here. We're going to simply grab it and drop it over here. This is the link block. And then we are going to add in text link over here. Okay, so we have two things. We have the link block and link. And within the link block, we can add in our image. So we can simply grab and drop the image over here. And now you can see you have the option to replace this placeholder image. This is where you can add in your own logo. So what we can do is click on this replace image, and here we can drag and drop images. We can also upload from our computer just by clicking on this button, or we can add a new folder, or we can simply manage libraries. We're going to click on this button and upload a logo from our computer. All right, so this is a logo that we created using Canva, and we're going to upload this. And just by clicking over here, we can add this image. Now you can see that it's taking up a lot of space. What we can do is just simply reduce it like so. Okay, now it's looking a lot better. And that is how we can add in our logo. Now there are a lot of ways through which you can customize your logo, but we don't need this at the moment. Okay, now we're simply going to go to this text link. From here, if you want to change it, what you can do is double click over here. Then you can change it select whatever you want. We can add home like so. Now, if you want to add multiple links, what you can simply do is right click over here, and then you can click on duplicate. And this way, there will be multiple links. Now we can right click over here and duplicate it again. And now you can see you have 3 links. Now we can rename these. Now this isn't looking that great as these have a lot of space between them. What we can do to make this right is we can add in another element over here. So let's go over here and let's add a div block right over here. And as you can see, the div block has been added over here. What we can do is grab these links and include them within the div block like so. Alright, now you can see that the alignment has changed. We can just simply drag these and drop it over here to change the order, like so. And then we can grab the div block and turn it into a flex box. And then we can make it space between, and we can add center. Then we can add in the gaps, and this will increase the gaps. So that is how you can add links. Now we use the div block in order to organize our navigation links. You can use other blocks such as container to do this as well. Now, one more thing is the styling. So the styling of the links, it's not looking that great. In order to change this, what you can do is customize it from here. So this will actually show you how you can customize your elements. So to customize this navigation menu item, what we can do is change the font family from here. We're going to choose Montserrat, and from here we're going to choose the 600 semi-bold. So this is looking a lot better. Now we can also change the color. From here we can change in the color. So let's actually use this logo color. Now it's not visible that much, but if we add in a background, this will be much more visible. But for now, let's just keep it green. And for the text decoration, you can see there's an underline. We're going to select this one. So the underline is gone now. So we're going to actually apply the same style to this link as well. Now, if we want to apply the style to this link as well, what we can do is see the link over here. So this is the class. We're going to click on About and select the same class for this as well. And this will help us copy the styling directly. All right. So now, in order to add the links to these texts, what we can do is go to the Settings tab from here. And in the link settings, we can add in the URL. Or if you want these links to direct the users to a page of your website, what you can do is click on this page and you can choose the page from here. So now clicking on this home will lead to the home page. And as for this about and contact, we still haven't created the pages. We can add the link after we create the page. So that is how you can add in the navigation links. All right, great. For now, we are going to keep this as it is. And as for this specific image block, we are going to choose this link block, and you can see that it also has the same link settings. We're going to also add the home page from here as well. So when users click over here, it's going to redirect them to the home page. And again, you can also select this open in a new tab, so users will be redirected to the home page in a new tab, but we don't want this right now. All right. Now, we also want to increase the gap a little bit. Now to do this, what we can do is either grab this link block and add some margin. Of course, there are multiple ways of doing this, but I think this is a quick way to do it. We can add in more pixels. So let's add a custom value over here. 550 pixels. I think this is enough. Now, with that, we have actually created our navigation menu. Now, what we can do is right click on this section and we can click on Create Component. And here we can name the component. We can call it navigation. We can also add a description, but I don't need it. So I'm going to click on create. And now we have created a navigation instance. Now what these instances actually do, how it's helpful, what you can do is now simply go to components, go to navigation. Whenever you need to add your menu, you can simply drag it and drop it over here. Now you have your menu. So it's so simple to do. Now we're going to remove this. Now, since we have this, now if you're wondering how you can edit this, you can simply double click over here. It's going to open up this instance and you can edit it if you want. Although I have shown you a custom way of creating a menu, it's actually a lot easier if you use the navigation element. Yes, there is an element that you can use. So you simply click on the plus button over here and scroll down. Right over here in the advanced tab, you can find the nav bar. If we grab it and drop it over here, you can see that it adds the same navigation bar. Now, if you want to speed up your development process, you can use this as well. You can see that it's built in a similar way that we have built our navigation bar. Okay, so if you want to save time, you can use this as well, and it's also customizable. But I actually showed you the custom method of how you can do it. So in this way, you will actually know how to work with Webflow and how this entire thing works. So building everything from scratch or custom actually gives you the knowledge and courage to build your website from scratch and customize your site in any way you want. Okay. So now that we have created our navigation, let's also create our hero section. So we're going to simply click on this plus button, and over here we're going to take another section. And this section, we're going to call it the main. Now let's hit enter. So this is our main section. And this time, let's actually do this in a much more simpler way. What we are going to do is, after selecting this, we are simply going to add a background color. So we're going to fold all of these up. All right, you can see that in how many ways you can work with it. You can customize the layout, spacing, size, position, typography, backgrounds, borders, and effects. Since this is the main section, we are going to expand the background. And for the background, you can add an image or a gradient. It's up to you. We are going to add a gradient. So from here, we're going to choose a linear gradient. And here you can choose in the angle and the colors from here. So what we're going to do is choose a 90-degree angle. All right, now we're going to expand the black or dark portion of the site, and we are going to reduce the whiteness like so. All right, so this is our section. So now we're going to fold these backgrounds and expand this sizing. From here, we're going to add in some height. So we are going to choose VH. You can choose the units from here, such as pixels, percentage, EM, rem, CH. We're going to choose the VH, and it automatically added the height. So we're going to make it 100. So now we have a background, and we actually want this to go up over here. So let's open up the spacing. Let's make it minus 98. All right, now it's looking a lot better, as you can see. Great, so we have a background now. So now we're going to add in a container. So let's simply drag and drop a container over here. Now you can see the container is up above over here. What we can do is go to the position, choose the relative, and we can add a value over here. Okay, that seems about right. Now we can add in more content such as heading over here. So we added the heading. Let's call it Welcome to Digital Forest. Now we are going to design this quickly. We're going to go to the typography. From here, we're going to increase the size to 124 pixels. Now it's a lot bigger, but it's going to look cool when we completely design it. We're going to change the color to white. So a complete white color. And then what we can do is increase this height. We can just simply click on the up arrow on our keyboard and it's going to increase. So you can see it's looking a lot better. Now let's position this heading to the left side of the screen. And to do that, we're going to go to position. And from this drop down, we're going to choose relative and add a value from the right side. Great. Now it's looking a lot better. So that is how we can add in texts. Now we want to actually place it a bit above. So we're going to choose the container and we're going to simply reduce this to 350. I think this is a lot better. Now we have some text over here. In the same way, we can add in some paragraph text right below over here. And the paragraph text is over here. We can do the same thing for the paragraph as well. We can choose the relative and add in the right pixels from over here. And then we can change the color. All right. Now, of course, there's a lot of text. We can delete some of these. And let's actually increase the size to 18 pixels. And let's add some max width. So we can go to size, add some max width. Let's add 625 pixels. All right. And now we have some text. In the same way, we can add a button now. So let's go ahead and find a button. So this is a button. We can simply grab and drop it over here in our container. And the button is over here. To position it over here, you know what we are going to do. We are going to go to the position, choose the relative, add the right margin over here. And we're also going to design the button. And to design the button, we are going to start with the text. We're going to call it Get Started. And we are going to customize the font to Montserrat. And we're going to make it bold. For the color, we're going to choose black color. And we're going to change the button color as well. So let's go to the background and choose the green color from here. Okay, so now it's looking a lot better. And what we want is this button to direct us to the contact page. All right, but since we don't have a contact page, let's just leave it alone. So we have actually designed this entire section using all the elements given to us. So that is how you can actually design your web page using Webflow. Now this tutorial is actually getting a lot bigger, so we don't want it to take a lot of time. So in order to keep this short, we are going to show you how you can design your other pages. So to design your other pages, we're going to go to Pages section, and from here we can simply click on Create New Page from here. And we can click over here, Create New Page, and we're going to call it About. All right. Here you can customize the slug. You can also choose the access control, whether you want it to be public or anyone with a password. You can also look at the SEO settings from here. You can customize the title tag. You can add the meta description. You can also include the sitemap indexing, and you can also access the open graph settings from here. So there are a lot of SEO settings over here. You can customize this for better SEO. So once you're done with this, you can simply click on Create, and your About page will be created. Now to speed things up, we're going to go to the components and add our navigation menu like so. To actually copy some of our design, what we're going to do is go to the home page. We're going to copy this main section like so, and then we're going to go to the About page and we're going to paste it. Great. So we have the section now, but we are actually going to delete some of these things. So what we're going to do is delete this container entirely, and I'm going to show you that you can actually use other elements such as the columns to design your page. So we're going to simply drag it and drop it over here, and the column is situated over here. You can choose the number of columns from here, such as column, 2 columns, 3 columns, 4 columns, etc. What we're going to do is choose the basic column. We can also customize the width of this column from here. You can choose the size of the columns. All right, so let's choose this 5'7". Now we're going to hit enter on keyboard. Now we're going to close this up. And of course, to position this, we're going to go to relative and we're going to add in some top margin. Okay, so that sounds about right. Now in this column, we can add other elements. So let's add some heading text. Okay, so let's write something over here. I've written change the world. Now let's change the color to white. And we are also going to make this a lot bigger, and we're going to add in some height. So 90 pixels and 90 pixels, that seems about right. And we can add in other elements over here. So let's go ahead and add in an image. So from here, we're going to add in an image, and then from replace image, we are going to add another image. Okay, so this is an image that we got. We're going to add this image over here. And it's not looking that great because, you know, the image is placed over here. What we can do is change it manually, so don't worry about it. So to change it, what we can do is select it, go to position, choose the relative, and add some values from the margin bottom. Great. So this image combined with this text, it's looking a lot better. All right, now we have an image over here and we have some text over here. And using this same method, what we can do is duplicate this, add in another section like so, delete this column, and add in a new container over here. For this container, we can choose the position relative and add in the values from top. And now we are going to add in heading text. Let's say meet the team, and we're going to change it to Montserrat, and let's make it extra bold, and let's increase the text size. All right. So now it's looking a lot better, and we're going to add in another container to make this more organized. And from here, you know what we're going to do. We're going to add in the spacing. All right, so let's keep it 315 pixels. And now let's start adding some elements. And we're going to add in a column over here. So let's grab it and drop it over here. And this time we want a 3 column, and we're going to choose the position relative and add in the required margin from here. Okay, now we're going to add in some elements within these columns. We're going to go to add, and then we're going to drag and drop this image. And we're going to click on replace image, and we're going to upload some image. All right, so this is the image that we added, and then we can add in some texts. Now let's grab this heading and drop it right over here. And we're going to actually grab it and drop it right over here. Now we want to convert this to, let's say, heading 4. Okay, Then we can add in the name. Great, and we are going to align it to center, and we're going to make this text white. All right, so that is how you can add in image and add in name like so. Now we can copy this entire thing and paste it over here. So let's go ahead and do it. We're going to press Ctrl C on our keyboard, and we're going to select this column and press Ctrl V. And we're going to do the same over here. And then we can add in the headings as well. So let's press the Ctrl C and Ctrl V and Ctrl V. So that is how you can create your team section. Of course, we have the same image. You can upload different images and different names. All right. So that is the about page. So our about page has been created. Now also let's create the contact page. All right. Now if we go ahead and click on create a new page, what you're going to see is this message. You have created all the pages you're allowed to by your free plan. To add more, upgrade your site plan. So with the free version of Webflow, we are only allowed to create 2 of these pages. But if you want to create more pages, you have to upgrade to paid plan. So since we have only 2 pages, let's go ahead and add the links over here. What we're going to do is click over here and click on settings and add the link to about. All right. So now our about has a link. Now, although we don't have the contact page, but let's actually keep it for design purposes. That is how you can create amazing websites using Webflow. Now, there are a lot more things to explore, such as the animations, because Webflow allows you to add amazing and wonderful animations. I actually want to show you a quick animation, although this video is getting a lot longer than I expected, but still, this is something really amazing that I wanted to show you. So let's go ahead and quickly see how these animations work. So we're going to actually grab this text, and from here, we're going to click on the interaction tab. From here, we're going to click on this plus button, and here you can see there are a lot of animation triggers. We're going to choose the page load, and from here you can choose whether you want to use animation for desktop, tablets, phone landscape, or phone portrait. We only want to add the animation for desktop and above. Now we're going to click on action, and we're going to click on start animation, and here we have no animation. We're going to click on this plus button, and we're going to click on plus again, and then we are going to choose the opacity. So we can set the opacity of our text. First, we're going to make this opacity 0 and click on start as initial state. Now our opacity is 0, and as we progress, we want to add the opacity to 100. Click over here and we can click on opacity again, and here the opacity is set to 100%. So 0 opacity and 100 opacity. And from here we can also set the time trigger, so we can choose it to 1.5. And now if we play our animation, we can click over here and see the animation in effect. So that is how the animation will look like, okay? That is how you can animate your pages. Now to preview our work, we can click on this button over here, and this is our website. You can see how beautiful it looks. Now we can click on got it, and this is our website. Now if we click on this about, it's going to go to the about page. Now if we click on over here, it's going to redirect us to the home page. Now if we click on preview again, it's going to go back to the designing mode. So that is how you can create a website using Webflow, and you can also add animations and make your website a lot beautiful. Of course, there are a lot more to do. For example, we haven't made our website responsive. You can see in the tablet device that the text is going over here, but it's actually very simple. You just go to tablet, you select this text. What you do is simply reduce the text size, 85 pixels, and you can grab in the container like so, and you can actually control the spacing from here, and now you can see it's looking a lot better. Now if we move on to the desktop, and now let's move on to the tablet, you can see that it's already responsive, and you can see the menu is gone as well. What we can simply do is grab this navigation menu and grab this container, and we're going to select the flex over here like so, and then we're going to choose the center, and this should also be center. We're going to choose the div block, and we're going to go to the position, choose the relative, and then we're going to add in some value over here. Great. And if we add more value over here, now you can see it's looking a lot better. So in this way, we can make our website responsive for all devices. Now desktop, tablet, and if we go to the mobile device, you can see that it looks horrible. Of course, you also now know how you can make it responsive, so we're not going to go through all of those again. All right, we have gone ahead and made our website responsive really quickly. So in the tablet device, now you can see everything is looking a lot more cleaner. In the mobile landscape view, it's looking much better. And in the mobile device, you can see that everything is looking a lot better now. All right, so that is how you can make your website responsive. Now, after you are done with your website, what you can do is go to Publish and add a custom domain, or click on Publish to selected domains. If you have a domain, you can publish to that site. But for that, you need to purchase a Webflow plan. Before we move on to the Webflow pricing, we actually want to show you how you can create a website faster using a template. All right. So for that, we are going to go back to our dashboard. And from here, we are going to remove one of our testing sites, because with the free account, we cannot create more than 2 sites. And to delete it, what you can do is go to settings, click on archive, then copy this site name and paste it over here and click on archive site. And it's going to be deleted. Now, if we want to add a new site, we can simply click on new site. And this will give us the 3 options: the AI site builder, template, and blank site. So we already saw how you can build a site from scratch. So now let's see how you can speed up your design process using a template. So we're going to click on it, and you can see that there are several templates to try. Now, some of these templates are free and some of them are premium, so you have to purchase those. Okay, these are really beautifully designed, and you can purchase this if you want more premium design. Now, we are going to use a free template, so let's go ahead and see if we can find one. Okay, so this looks like a good one, so we're going to click on select, and here we can add our site name. Then we can click on create, and the site will be created. So we have to wait for a few seconds, and you can see that our site has been created. And if you take a look at it, you can see that this is so beautifully designed. See? And if we go ahead and take a look at the pages, you can see there's the featured page, the pricing page, the about page, and also the contact page. All right, we have a template on our site. Now what's next? So you have this beautiful website, but all the text, images, and data are not yours. The first thing that you can do is select the navigation instance and double click on it, and you can see its content. So this is the logo wrapper. Let's expand this and click on this logo, and let's expand this, and from here we can select the image. From here we can click on the image and click on settings. We can click on replace image button, and from here we can add in our own logo. You can see. You can add in your own logo, upload your logo. You already know the process. Now, in this way, you can also customize these texts. You can add in your own hero image, select the button, customize the button design if you want to. And if you want to add a link to this, for example, get started, you can add in a page. So it's going to lead to the contact page, get started. Learn more, we can also add in a link to our about page. All right, so that is how you can customize these sections. Now, that is why I actually first went ahead and showed you how you can start from scratch. In that way, you know how everything works and you can customize this to your liking. And all these instances, you can see that professional designers actually create different instances, so these can be used later on. Now, if we move on to the contact page, here's another interesting thing, is the form. So we didn't use any of the form elements. If we scroll down, you can see you have the ability to add form blocks. You can add labels to your forms. You can add input field. You can add text area. So this is a text area, and you can customize your form from here as well. So this is how you can import a theme and replace all these texts and images with your own text and images. Now, there are a few more things that we want to discuss, and that is the layouts. You can use these layouts to speed up your design process. If you click on the starter library, you can see there are so many layouts for you to use. For example, you can create a themes section over here. So let's go ahead and see if we can grab it and drop it over here. So you have a theme section. From here, you can add in the image of your team member. Okay, then you can add in the name and some description, and you can add a link to this text as well. So that is how you can quickly create any sections using the layouts. All right, layouts actually are really helpful, and it speeds up your design process. Now, another interesting thing about Webflow is the CMS. This allows you to customize your own CMS, and allows you to manage and edit your site in a more creative way. So what you do is simply go to the CMS, click on create a collection. We can see a few collection templates over here, such as blog posts, authors, categories. So in case you're creating a blog website, you can select these templates. It will speed up your creation process. So how to create a CMS collection? Let's quickly see. Let's say if we want to add a blog post, and this is the blog post, then we can add in our own custom fields. So let's say we want to add an image. So this is for the featured image of the post. And we can also add a help text, blog post, then we can click on save field. And again, we can add a rich text. So this will be the post body, and we can give a minimum characters. And this field is required, and then we can click on save field. All right, so now we have created a CMS collection. So we can click on create collection. And then if we want to make a blog post, we can simply click on create new item. From here, we can give a name to our blog post. Then we can add in an image. So let's click over here like so. And then we can add in our post. And after that, we can actually publish it or draft it. Now, we cannot publish our post because our site isn't live yet. Once our site is published, then we can publish our posts. So what we can do is queue for the next site publish. So in this way, you can create several CMS collections and use it on your site. All right, so that is how you can use a template to quickly create your website. Now, let's also check out the AI. So we're going to archive this site and now add a new site. And from here, we can choose the AI site builder. And now you can start with the basics. First, you can describe who you're building the site for, a business or a personal project. So you can choose, let's choose a business. Then what's the name of your business? So let's give the name of our business. Let's click on next button. And now we can share some details. Who is the target audience? What makes the business unique? And here they've also given us an example, and we can view several examples from here. Okay, so let's go ahead and add in a description. All right, so this is something that we have added. So let's click on the next button. And then we can also define our style from here. You can see there are some styles that's given over here. You can choose what type of style you want. So let's go with the minimal design. And we can also choose the light or dark, or we can choose an AI suggested option. So let's go ahead with the AI suggestion. And brand voice and tone, we can set it from balanced, educational, engaging, catchy, executive, and much more. Let's also go ahead with the AI suggested option from here. Color, you can add in your own color range, or again, you can go with AI suggested. So let's click on the generate button and see what the result we get. All right, so this is our website. We can see that AI has managed to capture the tone of our website. It created the services page, about page, blog page, and also a help page. And it also added texts and images that matches our agency. Digital marketing that drives business, boost your online presence. We have buttons over here, and we have various sections, and we can see that it looks minimal and clean. Okay. Now we can edit this. Now from here, we can choose a theme, color, typography, and buttons. If you are happy with the theme, you can click on start building and start customizing your site. So this way, you can use AI to start building your site. Now, while doing this, you can also use AI to generate a layout for you. So you can actually use AI in every step of the way. Okay? This makes your website building a lot faster. Okay, so that is how you can use Webflow to create a website from scratch, or use a starter template, or use an AI to do it. All right? Once you're done, you can publish your site. So let's go ahead and see how that can be done. Now, after you're done, what you can do is click on publish. And from here, you can see that this is a staging site. To choose a custom domain, you can click over here, add a custom domain. And of course, as you might expect, you need to purchase a plan. So there are a lot of plans from Webflow. The starter plan, this is what we have chosen. It gives you the webflow.io domain and entry-level site. It gives you 2 pages, as you have seen, 20 CMS collections, 50 CMS items, 50 form submissions. So these are some items that we haven't used. If you move on to the basic plan, it's $14 a month. It gives you a custom domain. You can have a basic site with 150 pages and with 10 gigabyte bandwidth. There is a CMS plan which is available for $23 a month. It gives you a custom domain plus a content-rich site. You can have 150 pages with 20 CMS collections and 2,000 CMS items and unlimited form submissions. This is ideally the plan you might want to go with, as it's best for blog or other content-driven site. But there's also the business plan, which is billed $39 a month, and it's best for high-traffic marketing site. This gives you a custom domain, a business site with 300 pages, 40 CMS collections with 10,000 CMS items, unlimited form submissions, and you also get 100 GB bandwidth. So you can understand that this is for heavy sites like business sites and the sites that has a high surge of visitors. You can also get e-commerce plans from here as well. It starts from the standard plan with $29 a month, and it goes up to $212 per month with the advanced. You can choose between billed monthly or yearly from here and pick the plan that you want. Once you have your plan, you can have your own custom domain and publish your website. So that brings us to the end of this tutorial. We hope that it was helpful for you guys. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more helpful videos such as this one. Thank you for watching. See you next time.